Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official director commentary on the Mangai Project's first episode, The Right to Call You Brother. I have here with me the other two directors on the project, so if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Aos. I'm the executive producer as well as the sound manager.
And I'm Yozeph. I'm the art manager for the Mangai project.
And I am Max Newey, the executive producer slash director. So that's us, and kind of between our three departments, we wanted to get this group together because between our three departments, that's kind of what defined the visual aspect of the episode, the sound aspect of the episode, and the direction, the story. So it's kind of like that. We have that triumvirate of things, that kind of all combine into a finished product. So the plan here today is to we'll go ahead and jump into the episode itself, and we will watch it with you guys and give a kind of a live commentary on things that we want to call out as we watch through it. So it's going to be relatively informal, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. The right to call you brother.
Heck yeah.
Those who can read Matoran text, that the name on the side of the ship is Duma's Bounty, which is a Ninjago reference that I insisted on having there.
Also, the texture of the crates, if you can read Matoran, it just says, Duma's property of Duma, do not touch except Duma.
You know, you aren't going to transform into a rookie just by
Now, is
allowing
this the old Nadiki design or the new Nadiki
This
design?
is the,
What?
I think this
Rookie
this is the
face?
new one. Yeah.
yeah, because we started off with the old one, done by a guy named Taco Man, who disappeared after a few months into production.
See, now we're
It was later on
kids.
we had Jay Master,
I'm
one of
Nadine.
our artists, redo the
Tolerate.
whole sheet, which also gave us the elements like if you see on Adiki's shoulders, he has a bunch of like scratches, like even on his chest plate there. That was all
Not at
incorporated as
all
part of his
clever.
aesthetic, being part of the
Guess
Trencrom
there's plenty of
Peninsula.
reason for it,
No.
considering our destination.
Yeah, and like the whole thing was the reason we redesigned it was specifically because like Nadiki's character sheet was one of the first, right? And so later on we had to reorient the characters we'd already made toward that, style that we had found. And unfortunately, that first character sheet just didn't fit the style. But you can see the original Nadiki design in his flashback, kind of as like a loose reference to that.
That's true, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe that's what he looked like in the
come on,
past.
my friend. Me? I'd rather face 100 Dark Hunters than a hungry rookie any day.
Why is that?
A rookie may be small, but they're devious. That's how they've survived in these vast seas without being hunted to extinction.
These scenes here
Every
with
other fish
Lacan and
across was
Nadiki
the
talking back and
terrible
forth,
Yet
they were deceptively difficult to edit. There was a lot of playing around with the exact timing of the head turns and the
how
movements,
when to make their move.
in a way that I don't think we would get if this were a live action thing, because we can separate them out, and so deciding exactly when one person turns and reacts or says something was
I believe you
a very fun challenge.
element of the rookie
Yeah. This whole rookie sequence, something that sort of happened by accident, but whenever it happened, we were very excited about it. I think it's very interesting how Lee Khan's perspective of the rookie, like whenever it shows Lee Khan's here, he's seeing the rookie from the side, like beneath the waves, versus Nadiki's is kind of like a top-down looking at the rookie from above the surface. So there's kind of like this idea that Nadiki's looking at just the
From the outside looking in.
What you say
Yeah, exactly.
about the rookie swimming in schools? Perhaps that's true here, beneath the clouds and the sun.
Ooh, I gotta point out the little eye movements when he says clouds and sun there.
Things are
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
very different. In the Tren Kram Peninsula,
The snake there, isn't the body supposed to be like the ratchet Technic pieces?
I
I
think
forget
so.
what piece. Yeah.
To tell the truth, I just drew a headpiece with like a serpentine shape. That was it.
So I took the job without hesitation.
The vines, that was a process. Getting those.
Really?
Well, just the
It was...
loop, you know.
Oh, okay.
A lot of this sequence I remember just this whole Kapiru sequence was not in the original script, but the animators kind of like in one of the animation meetings really early on, they had reviewed the script and they like met with us and were basically like, hey, I think there's potential for an actual fight scene here. What if we did like some, like cat creature and did a whole so the animation team were the real like masterminds behind this whole sequence.
It's so good, and it establishes the tone of the show, and I think really relates it back to some of those old Saturday morning cartoons where they would have those big action scenes.
The stealth effect that Nadiki has is based on Batman Beyond, because Terry's suit has a like camo mode that does that, and basically, Joseph, from like an art perspective, basically what you're doing is just taking the character's shading and removing the character, right? In a way, like
Yeah,
that's kind of the
basically
design.
just that. And that was Spencer as well. He determines that's how the Batman Beyond effect was done. They just took the character shading and then just made it its own animation layers, basically.
I heard their village leader begging for his life. It was disgusting to listen to.
This is of course the like the ending of the first episode of Invincible. This is meant to be the this is animated, but it's not a kids show, guys. It's not a kids show.
Oh, totally, totally. This whole effect here, I think it's worth calling this out now, but I mean, this was the last thing we animated for the episode, and it was also the last thing that sound design was doing for the episode also, right?
Yeah, I think so. This was one of the last things that we put together. The sound effects on this, I really love. We layered a couple different creator stuff onto those, and they all came together so well. We had the music, and the music was great, and then we had some people create that kind of atonal siren-y stuff, and when we layered them on top of each other, they just fit like a glove.
Yeah, there's an Aztec death whistle in there, isn't there?
Yeah, the Gorast's Shriek is made up of an Aztec death whistle. It's got some alligator sounds in there, some insect clicking, just all the creepy stuff that makes the back of your brain shiver. We added just a lot of those like little transformations in that roar pretty last minute.
Yeah, and the reason it was last minute was because originally it was just Gorast running after him, and there was no transformation because it was we didn't think we were going to be able to do it, but we had Gorast chasing after Nadiki, and it looked like a Scooby-Doo episode. And so we had like an emergency meeting, like, hey, we can't. This needs to be a little bit more intense. Now that sequence, I want to call that out though, the claw and like the box falling and stuff. That is the only explicitly 3D animation that we have in this whole show, and that was done by Joe Cool actually.
Did we?
But yeah, the box falling and the moving was rendered
Is the boat
in
not
Blender,
3D?
I believe. Well, the boat is 3D, but there's not like any motion with it. It's just kind of like a static object floating in the void.
Yeah.
Our unit was completely overwhelmed. From their hidden
Oh, I love the using the shadows
Chose the perfect time to
as
strike.
their silhouettes. That's such a great
Oh, it was
move.
really fun, yeah.
Most Toa
Josh
died
gets just
before
doing
he
all
could
this,
raise
or
the
most of this, in this way was really nice. It's
Obliterated.
very, very charming.
Now the purple
We were
flame,
guarding
I'm
something
I'm a
very
fan of.
precious in the fortress.
There's Toa
He's,
Adao.
he's
There he
dying.
is.
I'm dying. Lycan.
Watch the Tales audio dramas, guys. You gotta watch those DLC.
By Montanui's will,
Yeah.
I made it back
This
to the
animation of
fortress
Lacan
unattended.
running and like entering the room, all those little shots, and Adao dying were actually the first shots we ever had animated. That was done by Cicade Art. We cut it up with Josh Guess's work, and I'm glad we got to keep both animators for that scene.
That is the Makoki Stone, not a waffle.
Failed
Yeah.
my duty was to protect the stone, but instead I faltered and ran.
This scene here, like Lee Khan's I Swore to Never Run Again, that had a super last minute change because originally it cut back to this wide shot of Nadiki and Lee Khan, and I thought it was much more intimate to keep it focused on Lee Khan. Very late, like last minute change.
Their duty, just as any of us would.
But yeah, that's one of those like editing room moments.
You can thank me when we reach Metro Nui. Now, if only we could get these Vaki to paddle a bit faster.
Oh, fun fact there's actually a little motif that was the Vaki theme. We ended up not using that, I think, in the actual final cut, but you can still hear it in that, and because it's the moment that they sort of bonded, and I think you can hear it in Astor's full soundtrack that he released.
I think that if there's anything that this episode just does really well, it's the personalization between the two Toa and just how intimate this friendship kind of is at the ending. The like first go of the soundtrack, I was actually in a call with Astor, and it was just him and and he played this last scene, and I actually broke down, crying a little bit after that because it was so intimate, that ending with the music and everything. Grown man crying on a Discord call. What are you gonna do?
And then, complete emotional whiplash from that scene into this.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was funny is if you look at one of those backgrounds while they're sailing, it looks like they're about to hit a rock.
I designed the background, so that was on me.
They're just hurtling. Well, they put the anchor down, so it's not an issue. They stop before they hit the rock.
Someone has to get the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I volunteer. I volunteer to guard.
I don't know why Avak being French fit so well. We weren't planning on that, but when the actor auditioned, I remember it just felt right somehow.
Yeah, I really love our Avok voice.
All of the Paraka do amazing jobs. I don't think you can tell that they're two of them share voice actors with the main two Toa.
Yeah, we're still listening to the same voice actors, which is hilarious.
They both killed it.
Yeah, shout out to P.JPEG, by the way, for just doing all of this scene and just being a really great animator. She's one of the best.
The boat stays here.
I love Vezok's waltz theme.
Is that going to be an official soundtrack bit? Just Vezok's Waltz?
Oh, that pan down, though, like the dive, that was brutal in the editing room, trying to get that to sync up. Oh. Look, there we are. There we are.
His names, yeah.
Hey.
It's our names. Incredible.
We worked on this. Something fun about this credits scene is that this was actually from an earlier version of the episode, the visuals. So you can see there hasn't been a color balance done on these, and there's actually one shot in the sequence that was deleted. from the final. So it's like there's like an extra shot that's in the background here. So I'm gonna call it out when I see it. Do you remember the issues with the spear and the scythe? Trying to keep those straight. I think in the episode there's still like one mistake, but we ironed out most of it.
It's true. We kept swapping back and forth between the spear and the scythe, and I neglected to keep track, so we just had to kind of settle for... It shows up earlier in the scene, he switches to a spear, his spear breaks, and then he gets his scythe. And it worked out.
In my head canon, he makes the scythe from the tiger. Is that deliberate? Or is that just my own imagination?
Oh.
That's your imagination, but it's a good
That's-
imagination.
I never thought of
I
that.
like that. Yeah, that's my head canon now. My head canon.
Yeah, that's just canon now.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. This one right here with the mask and
Yes.
stuff. That's not in the final. That's not in the episode.
Isn't there a story behind that mask?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a bad omen. That was my my darling that we had to kill. I loved the symbolism of that mask there, and it's just it didn't line up with what we were looking for. So unfortunate. Yeah, shout out to Essinger for being a real bro and letting us use this song. Because it fits the theme so well of the episode, I think.
Hearing the soundtrack and the clips over it was the thing that made me feel like it was a real Saturday morning cartoon to me.
I did that. I did the shield logo.
I love this logo.
I did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, this logo is really nice. It's a very sleek logo.
And then we have our poorly timed, or not poorly timed. It's very well timed disclaimer. Yeah.
Yeah, the nice little disclaimer at the end. Lego, please don't sue us.
Yeah. But okay, that's the episode, and that's been our commentary. So I appreciate you guys for hopping on and giving your insight into the episode, and thank you for audience member for hanging out with us as well. We will we're currently working on episode 2, and we are scheduled to end pre-production on that in October and jump fully into production on that. So we are moving much faster than we did.
You could say
for episode 1.
You could say we're moving along.
Oh.
That's true. All right, with that, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.